The first presentation is going to be Trees Help New Schools Discover Globe by Lenka, Kleger, and Csilla Barkász. That's Globe Czech Republic. The second presentation is going to be the role of the Globe program in transforming teaching methods among Omani educators into a green education approach. That's from Maryam Bauwain, Globe Oman. And then the second round is going to be 30 years of Globe in the classroom. Diana Jones and Lina Abbas from Globe United States of America. The fourth presentation is making a difference through the Globe community, and that's from Ruba Hapapkh, Globe Jordan. And finally, the creative middle school Globe teaching aids, that's Janene Smith from Globe United States of America. So welcome everyone, and with that, we'll ask Carol to play the first set of presentations.
Greetings from the Europe and Eurasia Regional Coordination Office. My name is Csilla.
And I'm Lenka.
And we would like to share with you how trees help new schools discover the Globe program.
We have been observing trees together with schools in our Europe and Eurasia region for many years within the European Phenology campaign. The campaign has been running twice a year, each spring with observation of greening up, and each autumn with observing of greening down of trees. We started the campaign because we wanted to support active involvement of Globe schools and attract new schools and increase the Globe community in our region. We also wanted to help schools to kind of get involved in the Globe activities and through them get to know the nature around their school and the environment. The campaign has been running since the year 2016 and it grew and grew over the time. So on this slide you can see how many schools are involved for each run of the campaign. Many of these schools are experienced schools or joining the campaign repeatedly, but many of these schools are new to Globe, and the Phenology campaign was their first connection or starting point for the Globe activities. What we have learned over the years of organizing the campaign is that phenology is a really ideal topic for schools that are starting in Globe, because the observations itself are not too demanding, and also no expensive or hardly available tools are needed. It is also suitable for students from kindergartens to high schools, and this helps also to attract like wider range of schools. We learn how much students enjoy being outdoors, learning about their tree and about their nature environment, and also how much they enjoy using apps just like a Globe Observer app. Schools in the campaign were always very interested in cooperation with other schools, and this was the same for the experienced schools, but also for those schools that have been joining Globe newly. The campaign is also a great starting point for exploring other Globe topics related to trees. So the schools often start with phenology and then they go for discovering carbon cycle or urban heat island effect, for example. What we also learned that sharing is very important for those who are experienced, but especially to those who are new in the campaign. So we organized many webinars where schools were able to learn from scientists and also share their findings together and learn and get inspired by each other. For this reason, we also have a discussion forum and Padlet where schools contribute their findings.
We believe that the Phenology campaign encourages creativity and the connection of students with trees in a different way. For a couple of years, we've been organizing the Tree Reporters Challenge that invited students to interview their trees in a creative way and to uncover their stories via creative formats such as videos or magazine articles. We were happy to receive many contributions ranging from funny, humorous stories to some emotional reflections or even some scientific insight. There are also some big achievements within the Phenology campaign. such as the case of Croatian students from Prelog High School who used Globe Phenology campaign activities to advocate for more trees in their city. And the town council responded in a positive way and promised their support. But this is just an example of where the phenology campaign can take you. The important thing is to start, to take it as an adventure, to take small steps, try a few activities, and you will see where you will end up.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Maryam Bauwain. I'm blessed to present to you today our research on the role of the GLOBE program in transforming teaching methods among Omani teachers into a green education approach. The research done by me and Dr. Ahmed Musa, the coordinator of GLOBE program in Sultanate of Oman. This study explores how the GLOBE program is helping Omani educators integrate sustainability into their classrooms and beyond, in alignment with national and global goals. Green education is more than just teaching about the environment. It's about embedding environmental sustainability into our teaching methods, classroom practices, and community engagement. Teachers play a key role in shaping students' environmental value. The GLOBE program, as many of you know, is a global science and education initiative that supports environmental learning through real-world investigation and collaboration. This research focused on 5 main domains as the domains of green education approach. First, planning for green teaching. 2, green classroom practices. 3, enhancing students' environmental awareness. 4, evaluating student performance in light of green principles. 5, applying green practices beyond the classroom. The study found that teachers involved in the GLOBE program performed significantly better in all 5 domains compared to those who were not, especially strong areas including planning, teaching, and raising awareness, with moderate results in applying green education outside the classroom and in evaluating students with in mind the green education principles. Table 1 shows those results. However, there are challenges. The research assumed 5 types of challenges, as Figure 2 shows. The biggest challenge reported by this work results was the time and effort required to implement green education. Other medium-level challenges included lack of administrative support, training, opportunities, teaching resources, and student-related difficulties. These challenges show that while the GLOBE program is effective, teachers still need more systematic support to fully transition to green education. To move forward, the study recommended, firstly, providing training on green teaching methods and student assessment. Secondly, promoting real-world environmental projects within schools. In addition, providing tools and administrative support to reduce teachers' workload. Finally, encouraging collaboration through educator network within the GLOBE community. In conclusion, the GLOBE program is proved to be a powerful catalyst in transforming education in Oman toward a green future. But for its full impact to be realized, we need to support our teachers with the right resources, recognition, and collaborative opportunities. Thank you for your attention.
Welcome to 30 Years of Globe in the Classroom with Lina, Abbas, and Diana Johns.
Anyone remember this music? I do. If you were one of the individuals trained in Globe's early days, you might remember it. My educator training took place in August 1995 at the Ohio Aerospace Institute in Cleveland, Ohio. Globe training has come a long way in the past 30 years thanks to consistently keeping up with technology. Easy access to our data on the Globe website and the data of others has given us a much-needed way to compare the past to today and project to the future. Besides the data measurements we've taken and analyzed, our students have also accumulated a few other statistics we're pretty proud of. These achievements were only made possible because of the solid interest and investment of Globe and NASA staff. The Globe Regional in-person symposia were hugely influential in motivating and supporting the curiosity of my students. Thank you to the national, regional, and local Globe staff who coordinated them. The Mission Earth program and Aaron program with their local support opened up a huge world of opportunity for each of my students. Even during the pandemic, NASA scientists met online with my students and kept their motivation and interest in STEM strong. Because of the Globe Observer program, my students were able to take a large number of observations safely from their homes. This kept them engaged in the world even when everything else was crashing down. So, what are some things our students say about Globe? Let's take a listen.
Hi, I'm Muhammad Ali, and I was a Globe researcher at my high school this year. Before this, I honestly didn't think research or science was for someone like me, but being part of Globe completely changed that. I got to leave the classroom, collect real-world data, and see how what I was doing connected to something bigger. It made learning feel alive, not just memorizing things, but figuring them out myself. Globe pushed me out of my comfort zone. It gave me confidence to speak up, to think critically, and to take ownership of my work. I started caring more about the environment and what I could actually do to protect it.
Globe helped me understand how everything in nature is connected. By collecting real data, I saw firsthand how human actions like pollution or land use affect the environment. Now, when I hear about climate change, it's not just a distant issue. It feels personal. I understand the science behind it and feel more aware and responsible to take action.
Globe was my first introduction into the STEM world. Through Globe, I was able to use and build on my skills in science and research. I learned how to analyze scientific data and present them in a meaningful manner while also learning how to collaborate with my peers. I continue to use these foundational skills as I pursue an undergraduate nursing degree.
Being a part of the Globe program has immensely helped me advance both my academic and professional careers in several ways. First and foremost, it helped me get accepted into medical school, and I used a lot of the experiences and a lot of the early research exposure I got through the Globe program in my medical school interview, which my interviewers loved. It also has gotten me a lot of research opportunities because I had some past experience with Globe, and so I was able to work at certain internships for research at institutions like the University of Michigan Ann Arbor and work as research coordinators at other institutions as well.
As a former Globe student, becoming a Globe educator has been a full circle moment. I vividly remember the many opportunities Globe provided me, most notably the chance to travel to Catalina Island alongside other Globe students from around the world. Participating in Globe sparked my passion for science and research. It encouraged me to think creatively, explore beyond the traditional classroom setting, and approach scientific inquiry with curiosity and innovation. Now, as an educator, I've had the privilege of witnessing the same spark ignite in my students. Last year, I had the opportunity to attend the Midwest Globe Symposium in Toledo, Ohio. It was during this experience that I truly began to understand the depth of effort and collaboration that goes into Globe from an educator's perspective. I was able to learn from other teachers, connect with Globe partners, and gain valuable insight into how to better support students in their scientific research. Seeing students present their work and engage in meaningful dialogue about their findings was incredibly inspiring. It reaffirmed the importance of inquiry-based learning and the global community that Globe fosters. This past year, I supported Globe students through their IVSS projects, mentoring them as they analyzed their data and compared it with years of existing Globe data. Watching their growth throughout the process reminded me of my own journey and reaffirmed the powerful impact Globe continues to have on young scientists. 5 minutes isn't nearly enough to convey how much GLOBE means to everyone at our school. It has been transformational and impactful to all, creating bridges of cultural diplomacy with students nationally and globally. Thank you to GLOBE and all of the participants for this amazing 30-year journey we took together.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ruba, a science teacher from King Abdullah II School for Excellence in Jordan. I am proud to be a GLOBE teacher and I am very happy to be with you today in this special annual meeting, which coincides with the 13th anniversary for the GLOBE program, a global program that has made a real difference in the lives of our students and communities. Our participation in GLOBE is not just a scientific activity. It's a true contribution to making a difference in our society and environment. In Jordan, we work hard to make science accessible to everyone through inclusive initiatives that promote participation and environmental awareness. In this initiative, we focused on community partnership through collaboration between our school and Al-Amal School for the Deaf. We were keen to ensure that every student felt capable of actively participating in the GLOBE program regardless their differences or special needs. We provided tailored and simplified sessions for students with hearing impairments so they could understand the goals of the program and take part in it. This type of inclusion is both a humanitarian and scientific message that reinforces the values of justice and equality in education. We integrated interactive educational games as a way to attract students' attentions and simplify environmental concepts for them. These games were an excellent tool to enhance teamwork and communication and helped students grasp complex environmental issues in an enjoyable and inclusive way. One of the most beautiful outcomes of this initiative was the building of bridges of understanding and empathy between students of both schools. Everyone learned that science and collaboration know no boundaries, and that differences are opportunities for integrations, not obstacles. In conclusion, this initiative is a living example of how a global program can be a comprehensive platform for environmental and community education. We witnessed great enthusiasm and engagement from the students, which encourages us to expand this initiative and bring the experience to more schools and regions. Thank you for listening and for our continued support of inclusive education initiative within the GLOBE program. Together, we make a difference and build a more conscious and environmentally just future.
Hello, my name is Janene Smith, and I am a middle school science teacher in Mansfield, Ohio, in the United States. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science, and I use GLOBE in my all my classes. I'm going to share with you today a couple things that I use in my class to help me teach GLOBE and to help me teach my students how to be scientists. The first thing I'm going to share with you is my GLOBE web quest. I have my students do a web quest to introduce them to the GLOBE website. This gets them exploring and looking for information on their own. I have, this activity has 3 pages to it, and the first page I have my 6th graders do, my 7th graders do pages 1 and 2, and my 8th graders do page 1, 2, and 3. And each page has deeper, more critical thinking skills and a little bit more challenging investigations for the students to do, including on the third page, the kids are actually asked to go to the Viz system and explore looking for some data. The second activity that I have to share is an extra credit activity that I give to students who tell me that they're going to go do some traveling or go on a family vacation. This just encourages students to take a globe observation somewhere that is new to them. And it's super easy. Also gives students a chance to get a little extra credit when students are on vacation. It tends to be a little bit of a challenge to keep their grades up. So it's a great opportunity for them to do something a little outside of the box that's still science and still educational while they're having fun with their family and traveling somewhere. The next activity that I do with my students is like a culminating project that I have them do after we study environmental vocab. So my students learn vocab words that help them understand globe concepts. And then I have them create a board game that's just kind of like vocab trivia in some format. And they have a lot of freedom. They're really allowed to create whatever kind of game they want. I have a couple examples posted here. There's even a picture of a student here that created a Minecraft game that had some globe vocab trivia in it. Next, I have my globe poster walk, which is, it's set up like a bingo card, but it's really just a sheet full of questions, generic questions that can be asked of any globe poster or written paper. And I have my kids walk around the room and look at other globe projects and answer these questions about them. And we do this at the very beginning of learning about globe so that they get an example, introduced to some examples of some poster projects. And the last activity that I have to share is that as my students are working through their globe projects, I let them use this board game graphic organizer that is just basically like a checklist. And they really like checking off the pieces on the board game. It doesn't look like it, but it's kind of similar to just like a Candyland board game. And every time they complete a step in the scientific method process in completing their projects, they mark it off and they can keep track of the points that they're earning on their projects. I'm sharing these things with you today because I want to inspire other educators to create their own globe resources and to share those resources with other teachers. And I thought this was an opportunity to discuss that it'd be nice if there was a place to share these resources with each other, maybe just a shared drive or Padlet. And so to encourage that, I have created a folder where I am sharing these resources so that everyone listening can take a closer look at them. I hope everyone enjoyed these resources, and I hope that I get to hear about some other resources that other teachers are creating so that I can be inspired and use those in my class also. Thank you.
So thanks to the presenters. This was great presentations. Okay, since we already got some questions, we'll go ahead and have our presenters answer some of those questions. So I think it'll be easier to just go in order. So we'll start with the first presentation.
Okay, I'll be happy to add a few words, and also my colleague Csilla is here, so she may want to add something and or correct me if I miss something. So on the first question on the Padlet was where to find the campaign activities. So all the activities that we share with schools are available at the Globe website. So perhaps the easiest way is to look for a European Phenology campaign on the Globe website. You will just find it very quickly, or you can go to Europe and Eurasia region, and there you will find a page, and there are all the activities for autumn, for spring, and also additional activities that are related to carbon cycle, to urban heat island effect, and a lot more. And also a link to the Padlet where you can find comments and inspiration from the teachers. So I guess that was the first question. And yeah, I really like the question about the phenological activities, how can they be integrated into the school curricula? So I think we have many different examples of how schools do it. Of course, sometimes it's part of a science, like biology classes, or for older students, it's part of a chemistry classes. For example, students discover what are the colorants in autumn leaves when the leaves start coloring red and yellow. So they use the chromatography to study the colorants in leaves. So there are many like ways how you can connect phenology with the teaching. And of course, for the smallest kids, there's a lot of drawing and arts activities. So it's for the smallest, for the kindergarten perhaps, or first school classes. And I really like one example from Slovakia where the teacher used phenology for the math classes. So he used, so in the spring, we measure how long the leaf is. As the leaves grow on the trees, students take a ruler and they measure the length of the leaf. So they use like a square net with the students to teach actually students what is 1 millimeter, what is 1 centimeter. So they connected maths and leaf growth. So there are many examples, and yeah, many of them are on the Padlet. And there was, I can see a question about a community tree journal, but I didn't. Yeah, that's a great idea to kind of estimate how old the trees are. And I think it would be such nice to do such a community journal to look back what the tree has perhaps been witnessing over the lifetime. And we try to kind of do this within the tree reporters activity. So that's where we wanted to invite schools to study trees on a bit different angle. So the history, the importance, maybe even some funny questions. So that's what we do. And also maybe one idea related to this is the carbon cycle activities that we also have on the website. There we provide schools ways how to measure or how to find out the age of the tree, so they can not only see how it changes over the season, but also find out the age of the tree, and also to look at how much carbon is stored in the tree that students observe.
Yeah, thank you, Lenka, for answering the questions. I noticed one question related to the phenology campaign under the general questions, if I may. How can this help students to bond more with trees if they don't get a response? That's a really great question, and it's hard to answer, but I will try my best. Actually, when the Tree Reporters Challenge started, I think it was like 4 years ago. I was not still with Globe, so maybe, Lenka, if you could remind me which year was it? It's 2021 or something like that? Yeah. So the idea behind was exactly this, the bonding with trees in a different way, because the campaign, the phenology campaign, has been running for so many years already, as you could see from the presentation. And we could see the enthusiasm of the children by measuring and uploading data and all that. But then we thought that, Globe is primarily there for scientific discoveries and sharing data and so on. But it's also great for encouraging some, maybe some culture in exchange or some creativity and some, let's say, forms of art. And seeing this enthusiasm from the students, we decided to, the Globe Regional Coordination Office decided back then to launch the Tree Reporters Challenge. And we asked the students to look at the trees in a different way, and we didn't expect actually so much creativity that we received. We encouraged the children to share or to interview with the trees. Of course, trees don't talk, or if they do, we don't know, we don't understand them. But this was the chance for students to engage their fantasy, their creativity, and they did it. So they were really creating interviews, meaningful interviews with their trees, and shared with us in the format of a video or some presentation, or sorry, magazine article. These were the two categories: magazine article and videos. And we saw that it was very, 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 really popular. So students really took time to slow down, to sit down at the tree, to kind of, let's say, don't look in their mobiles or don't use any tools, just to be there with the tree and to kind of listen and create something. And I think this is really important in today's world, this kind of slowing down and just listening to nature, which is, I think, a really great, let's say, complementary activity to all this science. So I think it's really possible. I know it's hard to imagine if you're a teacher and you haven't done this with your students, but let's say the contributions that we received over these years confirm that students can do that, and they are actually very, very interested in this kind of activities. And this kind of creativity, or allowing them this creative space, can also foster their interest in science, I would say. So they would be even more like interested in finding out more, let's say, the scientific details about the trees. This is how I see the Tree Reporters Challenge, but maybe Lenka can complement it, because I was not there right at the beginning when it all started.
Thank you, Csilla. Thank you, Lenka. Thank you both. So we'll move to the second presentations. I think Maryam.
Yeah. Hi. How are you, Islam?
Thank you. Alhamdulillah, Maryam. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. I can go directly to the questions. The first question was about the most significant changes that observed in teaching method. Well, actually, the most important points that the teachers showing enhancing in their ways of teaching according to the green education principles was in planning for classrooms or lessons, and also in linking between the content of the curriculum to the environmental and sustainability concepts. There was a weakness in the evaluation ways or their ability to evaluate green skills with students, and this is a question also in the general questions column. So how we could create kind of evaluation, and this is one of the recommendation of the research about make a training for students to understand how to evaluate students' green skills or their green activities or green outcomes, whatever the thing that we want to evaluate. Actually, generally, we could say that we have to break down any kind of skills or knowledge to its concepts or its keys to understand exactly what we are waiting to see from students, what we are looking or what we want them to show or to do. Then we could evaluate that. Another question was about, it is about the green education itself. Well, actually, there is a growing trend to raise teachers' awareness about green education and to promote it in Oman as an integrated teaching approach. However, there is still no clear and systematic plan in place here. In our research, we relied on understanding teachers' perceptions of green education and their self-assessments based on specific criteria outlined in the evaluation forms that we used in the research. About sharing the database, I need actually to get promotion first, then maybe I could share it with you. About the tools that maybe help teacher. Well, the teachers in the research mentioned the tools that helped them to do hands-on activities. So they could create some of them and they could ask for some of them. the ministries or the school itself, but they mentioned and recommended the hands-on activities as the best tools to use to help on raising the awareness, linking concepts to environmental concepts. Sorry, links the activities to environmental concepts and sustainable concepts. There is about the teacher's belief. Of course, teacher beliefs could impact the students' outcomes, not only the classroom teaching practices. So as a result of our research, the teachers that participated in GLOBE programs created, their beliefs of the importance of environment is great, and it is greater than the others who didn't participate in this program. So it is shown that this belief changed their way on teaching. So they are planning during their planning, they are thinking about adding environmental concepts. They are trying to create more activities to raise the awareness, the students' awareness of sustainability and environment. So yes, sure, 100% the teachers' belief could impacted the classroom teaching practices and also the students' outcomes. That's all, Islam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maryam. So we move to the third presentation, and I think it's Diana. So please go ahead, and I think there's a couple of questions there.
I see the first question. It says, from my long experience, I would have to say that one of the biggest challenges that I've had over the years is just finding enough time within the classroom instructional period to do everything that you'd like to do. But the good news is that students, at least my students, have been so excited by the work that they've done in GLOBE that they've been willing to stay after school, come to school early. They've been willing to come during the summer to do extra projects. And so I would say that, the real thing that's driven our program over the years is not myself, but it's been GLOBE's way of engaging students. And my students actually ask to do some of these GLOBE activities and to work on them throughout the year. It's not something that I have to push them to do. The only thing that's a problem for them is that they're also involved in lots of other things. And again, time is one of the biggest constraints, but we just have to use it wisely.
Yes, I think from Judy, she says, what's next, Diana?
Well, the good news is that I have my former student, Lina Abbas, who is here, and Lina is going to be taking over for me now that I've retired. So I'm going to be really excited to see all that she's able to do to integrate GLOBE within the science curriculum she teaches.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, Islam. Hello, everyone. The question is, would love to learn more about your experience. Thank you so much for your thoughtful message. Yes, we collaborated with teachers from the School of the Deaf to translate key concepts into sign language. It was a truly enriching experience. Both my student and I have learned a great deal of sign language, and we are still continuing to learn and grow in this area. The collaboration not only enhanced inclusively, but also opened up a new way of thinking and communicating. We're very proud of the progress and the mutual learning that took place. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruba. And for the last presentations, Janene, if you can also answer those questions, that'd be great.
Okay. I think the question that was posted about my Padlet was, how do you assess these assignments? And for almost all GLOBE assignments in my classroom, because it's project-based, I use rubrics for most of them. I do just look over the web quest and make sure that the kids are finding the correct information on the website. But most of the assignments, activities that I shared this time, are more just to introduce kids to GLOBE and get them familiar with it. So the assessments are not maybe quite as formal assessment as some of my other Globe assignments, like them creating their papers and projects. But these are kind of more fun assignments to get kids excited about them. I really, truly love the extra credit activity that I don't actually really grade. I just give a few extra credit points, but I just really love getting to see and hear about where the kids go when they have to travel with their families. And I love to hear about them sharing Globe with their families and making Globe observations. And because when people travel, they're usually going to really cool places to go and see. And so that truly is one of my favorite activities to give to the kids.
Thank you so much. With that, we only have 25 seconds. I know there are some other questions in the Padlet, especially in general questions, and those will answer in the Padlet later. So if you want to check the Padlet later, that'll be great. We should be getting ready to go back to the main session now, and they will get us out of that breakout room. So thank you so much for attending, and thanks so much for all the presenters.